social media be your invisible salesperson. And I have a 3-step system in how to make social media do that. As we've talked about on the previous days before, a lot of people really approach social media from an influencer standpoint. They are out there to get views and all those likes, but very rarely do they produce sales. What you want from social media is to approach it like a business owner, and that's different. That's allowing it to become your silent salesperson even when you're asleep, even when you're on summer vacation, doesn't matter when. But if you set up your social media right, it will continue nurturing those relationships all the time. And that's really when you start approaching it like a business owner, and really approaching it from a strategic point of view. So today we're talking about how to make visibility work for you. And this is the exact kind of stuff that we do inside our programs, inside of our done for you social media visibility packages. We don't just hand content over and cross our fingers and hope it works. We don't throw spaghetti at the wall and hope that the content that we create is right. We go in with a strategy. We go in knowing who your ideal client is. We know what to get you to say on video when I interview you to create content that leaves your perfect client, cookie cutter versions of your one true client. And they are out there saying, how is she speaking to me? How did she know that? Like, how does she know that about me? That's like the real key to making social media work. And so for most business owners, that can be a pretty tall bar. Yes, you know the demographics. Yes, how old they are and where they work and all this kind of stuff. But the words you're using to actually get inside their head to make them actually trust you on social media and to say those words. How did you know, Lindsay, this content was made just for me? And here's how it works. As Shauna said, we get so many questions in, and we really appreciate everybody who has come to the workshop. Replays are available until Tuesday. We have one more bonus session coming hot at you tomorrow. We're live on all the social media channels, so hello to everybody. It's so great to see you. But one of the biggest questions that we have been getting asked, and I wanted to outline it here for you before we dive into making social media your silent salesperson, is what is it really like to work with us? So unlike working with a VA or assigning your content to another marketing company or, the youngest person in the office, you should probably know by now that we have a real strategy to social media. It's much too competitive these days to kind of hope and pray that just posting content and then posting even more content is enough, because it's not. You got to go in with a strategy. So here's how it works when you raise your hand and choose to work with us. And right now we are offering the lead attraction strategy session for those business owners that it's a right fit for. We're asking you to fill out an application so that we don't waste your time and that we can actually know that your business is in a place where we can help you, because we want success on the other side of this. We don't just run social media for anybody. We run it for people who already have a track record, who are ready to go, who understand the power and importance of visibility, and understand that having consistent content is a game changer, there is no questions asked. This must happen. This is how your business grows. And that it supports all of your other sales functions in your business. Having organic social media go out consistently supports any leads you're buying, supports any ads you're doing, supports any search engine optimization, certainly supports any referrals, supports any speaking that you're doing. It is an essential part of your marketing mix. But most business owners struggle with that, because how are you supposed to show up 5 days a week? How are you supposed to show up with the right content that people will actually engage in and leave your ideal clients feeling closer to you, building more trust in you, and actually taking action? And that's what we do. So here's what it looks like, just a little sneak peek of what it looks like to work with us. And make sure, and Emily, go ahead and drop that link. The next step is certainly to get on a lead attraction strategy session. During this call, we deep dive into who your ideal client is, what you're currently doing on social media, and what the outcomes can be when you start doing it right. This is not a fluff phone call. This is a phone call that's going to leave you with clarity, and it really is the next step because we highly vet all the individuals that we work with to make sure that we can get results. So fill that out. If you're on the fence and you're like, well, maybe I'm not there yet, fill it out. Let us make that call. Let us decide if we can be able to help you. Fill that out. Get the benefits of having this lead attraction strategy session and leave with more clarity around how to generate more clients from social media for you and your business. So let's talk about what it looks like a little bit to work with us. So first of all, with everybody that we work with, we have a series of onboarding calls. We're not just going to create content without understanding you. Without us, most people, have the demographics of their clients, but in terms of what are they saying, what are they doing, and what's the right messages to go out on social media, we have a real expertise in this, and we can walk you through this and add a lot of clarity. I know we work with a lot of speakers. You have a lot to say. You have a lot of really amazing things to say, but what are the right things to say to actually generate those clients, to actually get those sales instead of just leaving people feeling inspired or motivated? We can help you cut down on that. And that's why we have a series of onboarding calls. We're not just going to be posting content. Then we have the recording session. So based on all the information that we have, I send you a series of talking points, and then you and I sit down on a one-on-one call and I interview you. I'm not on these videos, but I'm so good at what I do that I can get amazing talking points from you. You don't have to write your own scripts. You don't have to do anything besides show up to this call and let me ask you some questions about your expertise, and my team and I take care of the rest. Then from that 1-hour interview, we create 30 days of high converting content. This is a mix of different kinds of content. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. And we make sure that that is posted on social media for you. And this becomes your monthly visibility engine. This is you getting out on social media 5 days a week, no longer wondering, I got to create more content. I got to do this. We keep it scheduled. We keep you on, and we make sure that you don't lose momentum with this content. Now, we also guide you through other things, which is what to do now that the content's posted. How do you actually generate clients? How do you reach out to the right people and make sure that they're actually seeing your content? We walk you through all of that in our programs, as well as if you're out speaking, if you have a book launch, if you have an awesome day with a customer, if you have your own masterclass or webinar that you're giving, there's plenty of room within what we are doing for you to make what we call secondary posts. And you can go out and post those secondary posts, but you're no longer you no longer have the pressure of social media. You no longer have the pressure of, I got to make sure that there's a sales message and that I'm well aligned here and that I'm building authority. No, you can actually post social media based on what you're doing, which is actually where most business owners enjoy that piece, doing that maybe once or twice a week to really round off what we're doing here in the social media sales machine. So if that sounds like something that you may want to explore, we only take a handful of clients. We only have a few spaces left. My calendar is getting booked with all of the lead attraction strategy sessions. So, get on there. Emily, we dropped that link at lindsayaa.com/attract. You can also go there, fill out that form just so we can make sure that we're a good fit, so I can have some information going into that call and hop on that call with me. Let's see if we can't help build a visibility engine for you on social media that is super simple. You'll see out on social media, I've been interviewing tons of our clients this week out on social. We're going to also have an amazing client hop on with us tomorrow as well, so you can really see the nuts and bolts of how powerful this system is. It's unlike anything you've ever seen, and we're really excited to serve you in this way because social media, I know, can be a real thorn in so many people's sides. So that's what it looks like to work with us. I invite you to fill out that lead attraction strategy session call by going to lindsayaa.com/attract. Now, let's hop in here just a bit and review a little bit of where we have been and where we are going today. I have a lot of examples to share with you today about the kinds of content that actually build trust on line. And so day one, okay, we covered one of the biggest problems business owners face, and they think because they have the demographics of their ideal client, then they're all ready to go on social. But their social media ends up falling on deaf ears because they don't cover the niching gap, which is empathy, understanding the words that your ideal client is using, and operational. How do we take the niche that you know because you serve your clients and actually be able to hand that off to somebody so content can be generated without you always having to do it? And that's really the niching gap and what we have solved with our process as well as the one true client method. This is one person in your experience that you are always referring back to every time you create content. When you do content with us, we are consistently bringing up this individual. We know them. We help you remember this because you will always fall back. And that's the real key. It's the real key of developing empathy and putting yourself in a position on social media where your ideal client is left saying, how did she know that about me? How did she know? So instead of posting to just stay visible on social media, we actually end up posting to attract and take it out of your hands. Now, on day two, and hey, everybody, nice to see you guys too. Day two, we covered the metrics that matter. This is the thing about posting like a business owner versus a influencer. It really matters what you focus on. If you're chasing views and likes, you're going to be posting cat videos all day because they get a lot of views, especially for those cat lovers. But if you're a business owner, all you really want to care about are the important metrics, the profile views, because visibility matters. If people aren't landing on your profile, they aren't interested. DMs and replies, because conversations creates clients, okay? And sales conversations. How many of those DMs and replies actually turn into a sales call? And so we introduced the visibility dashboard where we track this for our clients, we track this for you, and we really keep track of those metrics that actually matter. And then on day three, we talk a lot about visibility compounding. How does this all work? Why is it when you stop and start on social media, it really ends up hurting you in the long run? This is something when you sign up with us and when you work with us and when you dedicate yourself to social media for the long term, it starts compounding. You don't want to stop. You got to keep it going because every time you stop, then the compounding stops. It's like when you stop investing in your IRA and you stop getting all that interest. The same goes for social media. So remembering that trust isn't built in a single post, it's earned in the cycle. And that looks like content to consistency, to recognition, to build trust, and then lead, and then a sale. And we talked about that and kind of, the gecko for Geico Insurance. It's like you're not going to trust him till you see it. It's just good marketing to be showing up in front of people time and time and time again. So you want to stop thinking that, oh, if this one post is the post that's finally going to bring me all the clients, when in reality, it's not that at all. It is 50 posts that actually bring in the clients, and most people don't do enough reps to actually start benefiting from the visibility that compounds. So say yes in the comments if that makes sense. It's so great to see you guys today. So we don't want you being glued to your phone. We don't want you to hustle 24/7. You'll hear from my client Jennifer that that's what she was doing. She was always hustling, and now it feels easy. Now she has time in her business to actually work on what matters, serving her clients, having these important sales conversations, and not spending hours and hours and hours a day trying to figure out social media because you don't have time for that. That's not your expertise. You want to turn that over to someone else. And so we're not talking about going viral. We're not talking about hacks. We're talking about visibility that builds quiet trust, which brings me to what I want to talk about today, which is your I'm so glad you guys are resonating with this. Your silent sales team. I have a 3-step system to make sure that social media is your silent sales team even when you're asleep. So let's dive into that, shall we? Number one, okay, 3 steps to activate your silent sales team. Step number one, you really want to be looking at your bio like a buyer. I want you to, again, envision that one true client of yours. And I want you to go look at your bio. Pick one social media platform of choice, the one that where you want to be generating clients, and go check out that bio. What would that person say about that? Okay. If your profile doesn't make it blazingly obvious who you help, what you do, what your credentials are, why they should trust you, then your silent sales team has no foundation to stand on. People will come and look and they'll be like, okay. And then they'll leave because you won't have built that trust. Maybe you'll reach out and try to connect with people who are your ideal client. And when they go and judge you, because people will judge you, all right, in 5 seconds or less, then what does your bio say about you? And I really, really stress that you guys go and you do that today. Okay. Most people have 3 seconds to look at your bio to see if you are somebody that they even want to work with or spend their time with. So make sure your bio speaks to your ideal client. And it's not about being fancy. It's not about the sexiest graphics that you've ever seen. It's about being clear, because clarity is what gets people to click or DM or reach out. Now, let me give you a couple examples. I'm not going to leave you hanging without some examples on bios here. Okay, so here's my bio. Of course, I have to use my bio. When I reach out to people, or when people come to my bio because they look at my content and they come and visit my bio, this is the very first thing that they see out there on social media. It is obvious who I am, social media sales expert. I have my logos out there for all of the places that I've been. You'll see a professional branding shot of me. You'll see I was on Netflix and I help people build a social media sales machine. You will also see me speaking on stage. So from an immediate just glance, I'm an authority. She's on a stage. She has authority icons, which, by the way, we include in a lot of our packages. So again, get on that strategy call with me. And it's obvious who I am and that I'm a high quality person that you actually want to connect with. A couple more examples. Rocky and Mike, same sort of thing. Mike published a book. There he is on stage. It's obvious that Mike helps insurance agency grow. There's no question about it. So if I'm an independent insurance agent and I go to Mike's bio, it's pretty obvious what he does, and he's a professional. And the same goes for Rocky. You will see his as featured in icons. You will see that Rocky speaks on stage, and it is very obvious what Rocky does. And don't underestimate the power, and don't underestimate what the words on your bio will actually do. And again, get into that mindset of your ideal client and ask, what would they think if I'd connected with them? They looked at my bio. Would they add me or not? And then go and update your bio so it's a heck yeah for when you reach out and want to connect with them. Now, let's go to step 2. Step 1, look at that bio. That's your home base. That's where your silent sales team acts. You want to call to action on there, and you want to come across incredibly professional, okay? And your authority. Anything you can do to improve your authority builds trust, and with trust builds intimacy, and with intimacy, well, then you can get more sales. So let's talk about step 2. Use the VEMS framework to build trust. This is the kind of content that you're actually posting on social media. And I have 4 kinds of content that you want to be posting, okay? Influencers post behind the scenes. This is what's going on in my life. There are certainly accounts. I had a client who actually, this is a great example, came to me. He had 50,000 people following him on Instagram and yet no clients. He was a personal trainer. And come to find out, every day he's consistent as can be on social media. But what he was posting was the daily workout tip. And so while everyone was loving his daily workout tips, he was really serving high-level entrepreneurs who didn't want to go to a gym to work out. They were not on his Instagram for the workout of the day. They were much too busy for that. So when he came to work with us and we implemented VEMS, then he was suddenly able to attract his ideal client and close over $50,000 worth of ideal clients within the first 2 months of working with us. And that's because we implemented VEMS. This is what we do when we go into those recording sessions. This is what we do when we create the content for you. So you got to have 4 things to really round out the trust on social media. Let me give you a couple of examples here. So that's V for vibe. That is your energy, your values. That is some behind the scenes. It's where people fall in love with who you are and not just what you do. Think a couple of quick thoughts on your morning routine, something that makes you relatable and human. Okay. Very, very useful when it comes to social media. E, well, let's just walk through these examples while I tell you about this. So here's an example of vibe. Client of ours, this is her vibe. She's out reading. She's a super professional. She says, do you find yourself caught in day-to-day thinking? It's a post like this that leaves people thinking, I feel like I already know you. That's your vibe content at work. When you hear that, and as people work with us, we hear this all the time. I feel like I know you. I feel like I trust you. You got to have some vibe content going down in order for people to say that and to feel that about you. Now, E is experience. Show what it's like to work with you. Show your expertise. This is your chance to really paint a picture. Give a peek into your client calls, share feedback, say that you're a speaker. Let them see the experience of working with you and what it's like. Rocky here is constantly on many of the biggest stages in the world, Zillow, Microsoft, many stages. And so, of course, we want to see Rocky speaking on stage so that his ideal client will know what it's like when they hire him to come and speak for their organization. Now, methodology. And here's a couple of reels here. Methodology is where you teach your process or share your framework. Remember, this is that people, most service-based business owners are banking on the fact that people like you, and that's why they will work with you. And that's kind of hard to do. But what's a lot easier is when you have a method and people actually buy into your method. And so creating social media content like my client here, where you teach your process, your frameworks, and you show them how you think and solve problems, can really allow people to buy in how you do what you do. It really positions you as an expert, and it builds confidence that you actually know what you're doing because you have a method. And this is a lot different than just a helpful post. It is I need to hire this person, because as my client here is showcasing agency acquisition strategy, he knows how to do it. He's sharing the method behind what he does for his clients. So vibe, experience, methodology, and finally skills. This is how you show off your expertise with what skills you have. Proof, results, strong opinions on how to do stuff, how people can actually utilize what you do and take it out into the real world. Now, these are just a couple of examples of mine. Stop making this content mistake. When I give people an aha moment on my social media, they can have a bite-sized skill. This is what she knows how to do. She knows how to post on social media. She knows how to convert into clients. She knows how to create content. She knows how to dial in on not attracting the wrong audience on social media, all based on these 3 skills. And so when you create strategic content that is also a little bit personal, adding in that vibe, then it really allows people to say, she's the real deal. I'm all in. And it allows your silent salesperson of social media actually do so much heavy lifting while you're asleep. Okay, so this keeps your content strategic and personal. It's the content mix that nurtures silently while you're off living your life. And this way, you're not just selling to the people on the other side of social media. You're actually building a relationship. Your silent salesperson isn't just content, it's strategic content that actually works for you. Just reading a couple comments here on social. Nice to see you guys as well. So, step 3, So we got a couple of steps here that we've been going through. Hold on, let me bring this back up here. So step number one, we got to look at our bio as our ideal client. Step number two, we're going to be using the VEMS framework to build trust through content. Got to have those 4 pieces. And then step three, you want to be posting a mix of video, images, and shareables on social media. And you want to have these 3, a very nice mix out there, because this is actually what builds trust through an idea or a philosophy that I call the intimacy ladder. So the intimacy ladder, there's different kind of content that builds intimacy. And so you really want to have all parts of the intimacy ladder showcased there in your content. This is another example of a client of mine. And so this is what a very nice content mix looks like. It looks like a mix of shareables. That's these quotes that those are very, very good for reach. They are good for relatability. They're good at people kind of like scanning and being able to like this, but it doesn't like build like that kind of, oh my gosh, how did you know what I was thinking sort of thing. But it is really great for visibility, but they don't build deep trust. The second kind of content is certainly images and captions. You'll see that in the top right-hand corner here. Those build familiarity, and presence. Like they're easy to like, they're easy to scan, they're easy to see a smiling face. It's really awesome. Behind the scenes photos, selfies, client visits, lifestyle chats, lifestyle shots paired with some amazing captions. Again, we have a way of creating all of this for you when you work with us in our agency. They let people see who you are, not just what you know. And this is kind of where people start to feel like they know you. And so it really can add a lot of warmth and credibility and consistency to your online presence. And then finally, okay, the talking head videos. And I know that talking head videos can be, they're not the best. Like people really struggle with these. They don't want to take the time to do it. They struggle being on camera. They don't know what to say, setting up all of the hardware. It can be very daunting for business owners to really approach the talking head video content, but it's got to go out there because talking head videos, you in your habitat, okay, talking about what you know and your expertise, that right there is what builds trust. Your voice, your energy, your face, the way that all comes across, that builds intimacy faster than anything. And so when you create a content mix like this on your social media, utilizing your VEMS model, that is how your silent sales team consistently works for you day in and day out and leaves your audience saying to themselves, I already trust them before they ever even book a call. You'll hear Jennifer today on the testimonial she left. She'd been following us forever. She knew she wanted to work with us. It's time. She's like, I'm getting on the call. No questions asked. I am signing up. And that is because I use video regularly and allow those videos to build that intimacy. So you really want a nice mix of those kinds of social media content in order to create that trust. And that's really what your invisible sales team is built on. Let me show you a couple of let me show you some more content examples here. And what really following the VEMS model and the intimacy ladder of content can bring you. Here's Rocky again. He says, since we started working together 40 days ago, this was a bit ago, I've done over 100K in business. I have 15K in recurring monthly income. You and your team have the answers that I've never had. You'll hear Jennifer, you'll hear Alexandra say the exact same things. I didn't know. It's so good for someone just to tell me what to do. And so you'll see Rocky's content mix here. It only takes him an hour a month. He's busy on stages. He's busy serving his clients. He's busy doing that. He's not a social media influencer. He simply wants social media to help him with his sales. And that's exactly what it does. Same goes for a client of mine, Matt. He's a real estate consultant. He says, you and your team gave me the system to earn a month's worth of revenue in one day on repeat. And that's the kind of results that we're talking about when you have a content system that builds your authority and actually acts as your silent sales team. And again, it's only an hour a month so that you can actually spend your time doing what you need to do in your business and those additional revenue generating tasks, talking to people, serving clients, doing what you have to do. You don't want to have to figure out this social media game all on your own. And that's your silent sales team hard at work. It's working when you're off the clock, it's selling when you're resting, and it's building trust while you are building your business. And if you're sitting there thinking, Lindsay, I don't want to, I'm all in, okay? But I don't want to do this all myself. That's exactly why you want to get on a lead attraction strategy session with me. All you need to do is head over to lindsayaa.com/attract. You and I will get on a call, and it's not a generic discovery call. You'll hear client testimonials out there this week telling you how that call was mind-blowing. Just the call alone to get clarity around where you can't very often see the label from within the jar. And so that's what this call is about, is where can we best support you? Where are you missing the mark on social media? And would we be a good fit to work together? Can we actually generate results for you? It is a strategic deep dive for service-based business owners who are ready to be seen on social media consistently by the right people without burning out or guessing what to post. All of my clients' testimonials so far have said, I felt like I was throwing spaghetti at the wall. It's funny how they all use the same lingo. And then guess what? I turn around and use the same lingo that my clients use in my marketing because that's exactly what we help with. No more guessing about social media. So here's what's inside the call when you get registered for a lead attraction strategy session with me. We're going to audit. Number one, we're going to audit your current strategy. What is working? What is missing? And what's costing you the visibility and leads right now? How can you start generating clients from social now? Number two, we're going to talk about defining your one true client and your core message. Yes, you serve a lot of people, but that empathetic and that systematic approach to niching down, covering the niching gap is exactly what we're going to do on that call so that your content is speaking directly to your ideal client, your one true client, and someone else can write it for you. That's my team and I, without it falling flat, without people being like, that is so AI generated. We want people with your content to be like, how did you know? How did you know that about me? And then the third thing that we cover on the call, so the first is your content strategy, what you're currently doing. The second is we're going to get clear on your ideal client. And third, we're going to map out your visibility engine. We're going to show you exactly what your business could look like in 90 days from now with our done for you system, generating leads behind the scenes. And so all you need to do is hop over to lindsayaa.com/book now. There's another slide there about content that compounds. Go over to lindsayaa.com/attract and book your lead attraction strategy now. And, if you're on the fence, I recommend getting on the call because right now it's my last day of school for my kids. And let me say this, okay? Summer is the exact right time to start this. Because while most business owners are mentally checked out, they're going to start new marketing initiatives later, the ones who win in quarter four, the ones who are winning when fall comes back in are the ones that are laying the groundwork right now. So while your competitors are pulling back, it's time for you to take the lead. Hop on a lead attraction strategy session with me. Let's get this worked out. Your content, when you start now, will already be compounding trust, will already be generating leads, and it's summer, your inbox will be a lot warmer, and you'll have a full system working in the background while everybody else is scrambling to get back on track when the kids finally go back to school and fall is here. So if you've been waiting for the right time, the time is now. All you need to do is head over to lindsayacomm/attract. Hop on that call with me. Click on that link and let's build your visibility engine before the noise piles back up, before you're still in the same place, before you're still handing it off to a team and it doesn't work. It's time to actually build social media content that works for you and and allows you to actually generate those clients and get in front of more of those right fit clients. So get on that lead attraction strategy session by going to lindsaya.com/attract. And I've loved talking to everybody so far. So many calls booked. Love having these calls. Tomorrow, we're going to finish this off with day 5, the secret to showing up consistently, even when you're booked and busy. This is where I show you exactly how we build consistency for high performing business owners like you, even when your calendar is full, you don't feel like there's any time. Make sure that you don't miss day 5. And I look forward to seeing you there. Get on that lead attraction strategy session before those slots fill up. Thank you for joining me today. I will turn it back over to my team to answer any questions that you might have.